Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're talking about how you could play through a song called We Can't Stop by Miley, Cyrus. And we're going to end up capoing on 4th fret for this song, but we're going to start on a C major chord. And when we play C major, first finger is going to go to the B string on the 1st fret, second finger is going to go to the D on the 2nd fret, and third finger goes to the A string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the C major chord, we're going to be going to an E minor chord. And when we play E minor, first finger is going to go to the A string on the 2nd fret, second finger is going to go to the D string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. And then from the E minor chord, we're going to be going to an A minor chord. When we play A minor, first finger is going to go to the B string on the 1st fret, second finger is going to go to the D string on the 2nd fret, and third finger is going to go to the G string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like A minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. And then from the A minor, we're going to be going to an F major. We'll talk about a really easy way to play that in just a minute. But if you know the full bar F major, you do your first finger across the entire 1st fret, second finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, third finger on the A string on the 3rd fret, and the pinky on the D string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an F major, and it sounds really, really happy. Or if you want to kind of avoid the bar chords, actually a good substitute for that is something called F major 7. It looks a lot like C. And when you play F major 7, first finger is going to go to the B string on the 1st fret, second finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, third finger on the D string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum just the D, G, B, and E, that'll get you your clearest sound with that, and that's called F major 7. And a lot of our song actually is just going to revolve around those 4 chords. So we're going C major, E minor, A minor, F major. But a lot of times with a song like this, to make it more interesting, I like adding something called a strum pattern. We'll talk about a few with this song. But one of my favorite 4/4 strum patterns, especially if you're just starting out, is down, down, up, down, up. So you just took the C and just tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So we tried that through our chord progression. We got C, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, 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 F, down, 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 C, down, 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 E minor, down, 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 E minor, down, down, F, down, down, down. And on our intro, actually, there's some really cool little piano parts, actually, kind of going for the high note in the piano part, where you can kind of play little pieces of those chords. So you could start out with just the 1st fret on the B string and kind of play that note, and then go open B, and then go back to 1st fret on the B string, and then go to 2nd fret on the G string. So if you wanted to, you could kind of imply that little piano part that way. And actually there's some really cool hits that happen later on in the chorus around those chords, where you play 1st fret on the B string, and then go to that open B string, but then we go 3rd fret on the high E string, and then we go to 2nd fret on the G string for our A minor chord, and then we play 3rd on the D string, and then 1st fret on the high E string for the F. And if you're a little bit more adventurous, actually you can kind of throw in the bass notes for the chords to kind of imply the chords while the licks are happening. So on the 1st fret on the B string note, you could kind of play the A string on the 3rd fret at the same time to kind of imply that chord. On the open B, you could play open E. And then on the A minor, you can play the open A. And then on the 2nd fret on the G, you can play the low E string on the 1st fret. So if you wanted to, you could kind of make that a 2-part. And I'm doing that hybrid picking where I'm using my pick for my basses and my fingers for the higher notes. And you can kind of do that through that chorus part too, where you got 3 on the A string with the 1st fret on the B string, and then open E for the open B, and then the 3rd fret on the high E string, and then 2nd fret on the A string but with open A. And then you could play 1st fret on the low E for the 3rd fret on the D string, and then play the high E string on the 1st fret. If you're playing the bar, actually, you've already kind of got those down. But then from there, we'll just be repeating that through the song. Now the weird thing is, and there's actually this really cool change of feel actually on the pre-chorus, and actually we could go ahead and talk about that, where it almost feels like you're doing a lot of downs on each chord. And one way to do that would be kind of just doing 8 downs on each of the chords that we're doing right now. C, E minor, A minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what I'm kind of doing is taking my right hand and kind of muting the strings on the saddle to kind of get a muted quality out of it to make it a little bit more powerful sounding. So that would be one way to kind of work the pre-chorus change, where we kind of just change the feel, not the chord progression. Another thing you could do is you could substitute in some things called power chords through that part, and that might sound a little bit more powerful. And what a power chord is where you're playing the root and the fifth of the chord. So on a C chord, if C was number 1, C, D, E, F, G, a G note is what we call the fifth. And one way to play a C and a G note together is to take the first finger and go A string on the 3rd fret, and take the 3rd finger and go to the D string on the 5th fret. And if you strum just the A and the D strings, that's called a C5 power chord. And then on the E note, we'd be playing an E and a B note for our root and our fifth. And then when you play an E5, you can take first finger and go to the A string on the 2nd fret and play the E string open with the A string on the 2nd fret. That's called E5. And then on the A minor chord, we play an A5 power chord. And when we play A5, first finger is going to go to the D string on the 2nd fret, and then you play the open A and the D string together for A5. And then an F5 power chord would be going first foot on the low E string for an F note and 3rd finger on the A string for a C note. So you could kind of work those if you wanted to make that a little bit more powerful through that part, thinking C5, E5, A5, and I'm doing that with the muting too, because I'm just kind of digging on that F5. So if you want something to kind of mix it up a little bit, that might be kind of a cool thing. Now the weird thing is to play along with Miley Cyrus though, instead of starting on a C major chord, she loves this key. She's in E major, and so what we want to do is kind of take the capo, and if you put the capo on 4th fret, then now your C chord is an E major chord. Your E minor is really a G sharp minor. Your A minor is really a C sharp minor. And your F major is really an A major. But just to take it from the very beginning, you might want to think about using those intro licks at the beginning. That 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2. Or if you want to kind of throw that in with those bass notes like we were talking about, you can kind of do those together and kind of make a 2-part out of it. So open A with 1st fret on the B, or yeah, and then 1st fret on the E with the 2nd fret on the G, kind of throwing in those bass notes. And then from there, we'd be going into we could go into our strum pattern kind of through the chord changes. So we have C, down, up, down, minor, down, down, up, down, A minor, down, down, up, down, F, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, A minor, down, down, up, down, F, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, A minor, down, down, up, down, F, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, A minor, down. Basically repeating that until you get that pre-chorus part, and on that part you can work the 8 downs on each chord with kind of the muting if you wanted to kind of work it that way, or you could move those power chord shapes that we were talking about. So kind of the 8 downs on each, or you could go C5, E5, A5, F5, kind of make it sound really, really rocky. And then when we get to our chorus part, it'd be that same chord progression, so we still have the C, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, A minor, down, down, up, down, F, down, down, up, down, up. Or you could kind of use that as a 2-part, and then kind of throw in those keyboard licks with the open A and 2, and then 1 on low E with 3rd fret on the high, or on the D, and then 1st fret on the high E, and then 3 on the A string with 1st fret on the B. Open E with open B, 3rd fret on the high E string, open A with 2nd fret on the G, 1st fret on low E with 3rd fret on the D, 1st fret on the high E string. So you may want to kind of think about it that way. Now something else I would think about adding to the tune actually is bass notes. And a lot of times to simulate playing with a bass player on that first down of the down, down, up, down, you could throw in a bass note for the chord. So on the C chord you could do the A string for your bass and then kind of keep your down, up, after that. So you have C with an A bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down. Then on the E minor chord, you have the low E string for your bass. So E minor with low E bass, down, down. E minor with low E bass, down, down. Then on the A minor, you'd have the A string for your bass. A bass, down, down. A minor with an A bass, down, down. And then if you're doing the bar F major, you'd have the low E string for your bass. Low E bass, down, down. Then with low E bass, down, down. And then on the F major 7, you have the D string for your bass. D bass, down, down. Bass, down, up, down, up. So we try with basses through the tune. We have C with an A bass, down, down, E minor with low E bass, down, down, A minor with an A bass, down, down, F with the bass, down, adding that. And for myself, what really feels a lot like the tune, because of the way the drums are kind of working, is a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now our down, down, up, down, up is kind of dividing that into two parts, and that's called an 8th note. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is a long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is like if you take the C and do it down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you do on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you're doing down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the third beat, you're doing an up on 2, down on 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the fourth beat, you're going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. So we try that through our chord progression. We got C, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, C, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, minor down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, Re minor down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. Now, if you wanted to with that though, you could throw in your bass on your first down, just like we were doing with the 8th pattern. So we tried it that way. You'd have C with an A bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. You remember the E bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. You remember the A bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. F with the bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. C with an A bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. You remember the E bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. You remember the A bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. F with the bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now, if you're a little bit more bass happy like I am, though, you could throw in some basses, some extra basses to make it even more interesting. And what I like is kind of a bass, down, down, up, a bass, down, up. So we tried it that way. We'd have C with a bass, down, down, up, a bass, down, up, down. You remember the bass, down, down, up, a bass, down, up, down. You remember the bass, down, down, up, a bass, down, up, down. That's the bass, down, down, up, a bass, down, up, down. C with the bass, down, down, up, a bass, down, up, down. You remember the bass, down, down, up, a bass, down, up, down. You remember the bass, down, down, up, a bass, down, up, down. That's the bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And basically we'll be repeating that chord progression through the entire song. You may want to just resort to just downs when you actually get to the bridge. It's kind of long notes there like on the piano. So you may want to kind of like contrast the rest of the tune kind of using that. If you wanted to, you could even kind of mix up between the 8th note strum pattern and the 16th through the tune depending on what you're feeling. And then at the very end we got kind of a big C major. But that's the basics of how you could strum through We Can't Stop by Miley Cyrus. So good luck!